Hello everybody, I'm Lucas and welcome to another video on this channel. This is vlog number 18. I'm filming this right now while I'm 17, but by the time you see this, I'm gonna be 18 now, so that's gonna be super exciting, heckin' dope. I can't believe I just said dope unironically. If you guys remember, a little while back, I read some old stuff I made in like 5th grade of elementary school. So basically what I'm gonna be doing today is I'm gonna be reading more literature that I did, but a little bit later in my life. Stuff that I did when I was in 7th grade. Poetry. Let me just get a few photos of myself when I was like 12 or 13 so you guys get an idea of, you know, the kid that was writing this. Oh, I did a cover? I forgot about this. Here's the cover. I'm gonna show it to you guys. So simple. Pretty sure I never even put an image on there. Okay, so this document was created May 14th, 2013. Okay, so I was 13 around the time that this stuff was being made. Enough dilly-dallying. Let's get right into it. Wow, okay. Whew. Okay. First poem, Death. I called my first poem Death. For death is inevitable. There is no protection, no shield in existence. Nothing can break this. There is no protection. Light shall not save. Nothing can break this. The thought is uncomprehendable. Light shall not save. Plants, humanity, bacteria alike. The thought is uncomprehendable. Sound becomes silence. Plants, humanity, bacteria alike. No shield in existence. Sound becomes silence, for death is inevitable. Wow. I was super edgy at the time, apparently. What did I have to, like, worry about? Let's just go on to the next poem now. Oh, Apocalypse. I remember being really proud of it, and I remember people being spooked by it. Here we go. Okay, great. Apocalypse. Shops closed down, boarded off with decaying wood. The foul odor contaminating the air. Doors left open, offering an unintended welcome. Spray-painted phrases cover the walls like a verbal vomit coating. Advertisements in ruins, and food is the only satisfying thought. What little food is left lays spread out on the ground like breadcrumbs for flocks of pigeons. Where there should be light, like the heavens, darkness pours in and hell raids. Where edibles are confined, emptiness consumes, like a monster in a nightmare. And where vehicles and road signs are abundant, petrol spills, burning cages of metal, and rubber marks cover. Those who got out of those cages were burnt to a crisp, skin black or non-existent. What little songs are left are songs of darkened themes, like ink splotches on a beautiful poem. What should bring happiness drowns, perishes, dies in an oil-stained ocean. And those beauteous instruments are left in the woodpile to burn like any other unimportant entity. No clean clothes to wear. Water is unusable, obsolete. Thirst is widespread like the signals sent globally. Fabric instead used for fires to maintain what little heat there is. Citizens willingly dismantling their phones for the battery so they can make a quick fire. Hallucinations of objects moving, personified with speech and a soul. These are the only friends in a world of ash and despair. And in those times when men seek death, they will not find it. Those who do seek death are met with the mercy of God. The psychopaths are the ones who find death, as God has no mercy on those who object his words. Why? I remember reading this to a class of my teacher and a bunch of 7th graders, and everyone was just kind of sitting there really concerned. What's the next one called? War! Great! The scarred old man with patches of red, white skin on his face, as well as burnt markings on his bony arms and legs, black and gray like tainted dirt. It's a weird metaphor. Goes out wearing his usual attire, the giant 75-pound bib that will save his soul from harm, and the dull tan, dark and light green camouflage suit looking like a giant walking praying mantis. Knowing soon his life will be at stake, he grabs the sleek, glossy black carbine that will put the lives of others in his sore, blistered hands as they blast out bullets like the pouring rain. And the thin silver pentagon, a mirror in its reflection as he sees his face. It has yet to be tainted with the lip gloss of maroon blood to ruin its beauty and marvelousness, as well as the small handheld bomb that still has that ring on it, much like a married wife. Take that away from her and she blows up along with anything else. And yet he still goes out into the desert field, hot, dry, and sand getting in the faux leather, both fearless and maddeningly terrified, though he knows his task is simple. Any abnormal movement not by allies is to be stopped forever. He tells everybody what to do and where to go, and tries not to get anyone killed. But should he fail, his job as a human gets ripped from him with the tools of his own, made solely for the purpose of doing the same thing. Recycled usage as long as it shall live, or not live. There's an absurd amount of death, guns, and really worrying imagery, really, for a seventh grader. I can talk good, okay? It's like 11:50 at night. Give me some slack. So I believe there's one more poem here, and I'm excited for this one because if I remember correctly, it's a Minecraft poem. Nothing says 2013 Lucas like Minecraft. I hosted a Minecraft server, OG Google Plus followers. My profile picture for 2.5 years was this. That's me in a Steve head when I was 13. Yep, so stylish. So anyways, let's read this. It's called Narration. With your blocks and cubes, simplicity impossibly in sight, your squares and pixels are simply magnificent. Monsters are the rulers. I am simply watching. The land is lifelike, but also fake. I break a block, you break a block too. I harm you, you harm me. Put everything in harmony, and this is what you have. Nature is the tyrant. I am just a citizen. I lay here shocked that you have a creator. Something that puts me in awe cannot possibly have a creator. And I look at the trees, the grass and the mountains, the deserts and wells, and know that I am truly alone. So yeah, that was the poem collection that I did for 7th grade. Bit heavy. I'm curious, let's look at the reflection I did for the poem Apocalypse. At the time of writing my poem Apocalypse, I was thinking about what most people thought about for ideas. My ICA-based poem. I think there was some exhibit called the ICA we went to and we had to write a poem based on what we saw there. That's the context. I was trying to think about how to take my observations and make them a landscape and make them feel real. I noticed the consistent focus on darkness, sadness, and graffiti. These made me think about, well, an apocalypse. So I then started tracing off towards video games, specifically zombie games. You'll notice a lot of references to what happens in those kinds of games. A great example is like the signals sent globally. This is referring to SOS signals or news broadcasts. Another thing I did was think about what people would do when it comes down to a life or death scenario. Like this phrase, citizens willing to dismantling. I put a typo in there, I'm dumb. Citizens dismantling their phones, make a quick fire. When you're in a land of death, you'll do anything to survive. I assume if an apocalypse is happening, cellular and Wi-Fi wouldn't work, so a cell phone would be useless anyway. With no energy, there's no way to charge a phone. A lithium-ion battery is extremely flammable, explosive even. The hallucinations of objects moving was a reference to advertisements that are posted on billboards and posters throughout a city. These were put on the ICA piece of work, and this is why I brought that up. The last 2 sentences particularly were the most serious to write, and were inspired by the paragraph that was first shown in the game Zombie U. If you wish to look into this kind of apocalypse, I think this would be a great starter for what it's like to live in an environment where you're powerless. The next big zombie game, The Last of Us, shows an environment in which nature takes over all the buildings and is well shown in the environment. This shows an apocalypse that is, in a way, beautiful. And I tried to mix these 2 different environments into one poem, causing a ripple effect in the poem, adding interest. The first 2 paragraphs just show how much nature takes over and what happens when you leave an environment alone for months at a time. I actually imagine this landscape to look beautiful. The metaphors just make the poem seem dark. If you look closely at the words, you can tell that it's actually a relaxing poem. I also went for the British terms when I called gasoline petrol. This is also quite an inspiration from Zombie U. I stayed away from games such as Resident Evil and Call of Duty because these games give you guns and too much ammunition, making you feel superior. The 2 particular games I chose for this poem make you feel underpowered, alone, and frightened throughout gameplay. The black skin burnt to a crisp seems pretty likely if you were driving along the highway, saw a horde of zombies. You'd crash into people, eventually leading to a fire. Anyway, this is my backstory of why I wrote this quote-unquote dark poem and my inspiration. LG. Wow, I tagged it with LG. So artsy. Again, reminder, this kid wrote that. Anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Go check out my website and social media in the description below. Subscribe for more content, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye! Yo, what's up? It's me. I'm editing the vlog right now, and
You need to see this video of me when I was 11. I was messing around on Photo Booth or something.
OMG, I have a head as big as a genius. I'm a genius. Whoa, that is a weird looking finger. Oh, it's punchy. Whoa. What is going on? What is happening to my face? No!